What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I do want to take a quick little second out of this video to go ahead and thank each and every one of you guys who have taken time out of your day to go ahead and play the closed beta, get gameplay, and send it over to put as background footage for these commentaries. It means the absolute world to me. As you guys know, I didn't go ahead and pre-order the game on PS4, so I do not have access to the closed beta, but I do want to obviously showcase this game in the background while I go ahead and discuss it. So you guys are going out of your way and helping me out tremendously. Shout out to the homie Example, obviously, for hooking me up with this specific gameplay right here. It's going to showcase a ton of different stuff between the perk selection, the brand new map within this game that they introduced in the beta. I think it's called Hotel something. It looks pretty decent. And also, he decided to hook up the Last Stand perk, which, again, I'm going to be talking about this in the video a little bit later. But he wanted to go ahead and hook you guys up with some of that footage so you can see what it's all about. So thank you, Example, for hooking me up with all this footage. I really do appreciate it. But ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I made a video about Call of Duty Next the other day, basically giving my first impressions of how I feel about the overall experience. And to be honest with you guys, my first impressions were not too shabby. I came in with extremely low expectations, and they kind of just, borderline met those extremely low expectations, So honestly, I wasn't as disappointed with Vanguard, so that kind of put a smile on my face. And I did enjoy some of the things that they showcased within this game. It's a typical Infinity Ward title, outstanding soundtrack, outstanding graphics, outstanding, gunplay, outstanding animations. It's a typical Infinity Ward title. While I feel like Treyarch focuses more on their arcade gameplay, Infinity Ward has always put 10,000 times more focus into the atmosphere that their game has to portray. Now, obviously, down the road, they're going to add in some crazy skins, but usually in their base games, the atmosphere is out of this world for a modern-styled shooter. But just because the game looks clean on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that the gameplay itself is going to be fantastic. As I stated in yesterday's video, yes, there is going to be a few positive commentaries on this channel, but at the same time, I have to go ahead and discuss the negatives, and trust me, there is a decent amount of them. I gotta say, I am impressed with what I saw, but at the end of the day, it just feels so disrespectful that Infinity Ward refuses to fix the core issues that we had with the previous title. I said it since day one with Modern Warfare 2019. There are some things in that game that completely turned me away. The Minimap, the Footstep Noise, Dead Silence, the map designs, the list goes on and on and on with pointless changes and pointless introductions that just killed the overall formula. But the gunplay, the movement style, the speed that you can actually acquire, and the pacing of this game was actually really fun, especially when you hop into Search and Destroy. It was phenomenal. But all of the amazing things that that game offered, the animations, the soundtracks, the sounds of the weapons, and just your soldier in general, everything that game had to offer got overshined because of the horrible gameplay design. It was a beautiful turd, gorgeous sprinkles and, rainbows lining up behind it with unicorns jumping around over it. But at the end of the day, once you dig in deep, it was still a turd. Now, when it came to Modern Warfare 2, the developers openly came out and said that they heard our feedback with Modern Warfare 2019, and they're going to resolve all the issues that we had in the past for this game. Now, one thing that I will say that has been resolved significantly is the map layouts. Every single map that I've seen within this game is phenomenal. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The playstyle looks great. It looks like that perfect in-between of the creativity that they're trying to create with Modern Warfare 2019, but also the simplicity of, like a traditional Treyarch-styled map, 3-lane. I do worry that over time, the maps might become a little stale, a little boring, a little basic because of how, simple they are compared to their previous Infinity Ward-styled maps. But at the end of the day, they're 10 million times more playable than anything that we played in the initial build of Modern Warfare 2019. So I'm very thankful for that. That was one of the massive things that we needed to change from Modern Warfare 2019 up to Modern Warfare 2 to make sure that the formula can finally shine instead of being overshadowed by a bunch of crap. But sadly, it ends there because every possible thing that we complained about within that game, that if they fixed, the game will be phenomenal, they chose to ignore it. And what hurts even more is that on top of choosing to ignore fixing the core problems of Modern Warfare 2019, they add more cheese on top of it. So not only do we have the previous cheese that made the game unplayable, but they added 2 times the amount of cheese on top. They're laying it top after top after. It's like a damn cheesecake out here. pretty much the whole community complained about Dead Silence not being a perk and becoming a field upgrade. I mean, it slaughtered the competitive scene because instead of people being able to acquire Dead Silence for certain playstyles, the footsteps are now loud as ever. So it turns into a sound horn game instead of a map knowledge style game. So Dead Silence was a massive one that everybody wanted to see return, not just for competitive scene, but for casual side as well. Like I said, it adds variety to the game. It allows you, if you are a run and gun style player, to be aggro if you want to, instead of waiting on a timer for a field upgrade to finally come out. But guess what's exactly the same as Modern Warfare 2019? Modern Warfare 2, because Dead Silence is once again a field upgrade, something that they completely ignored. I think they do this on purpose because all of these things are designed for Warzone and then they transfer them over to multiplayer. So clearly they have Warzone in mind because, you know, it works better for Warzone, having field upgrades and having timed out Dead Silence for certain occasions that you run into in a battle royale. It makes sense completely. But man, for multiplayer it doesn't. They need to separate the two. Stop combining these methods in these ways in both games. If you don't want the perk to be in Warzone, don't put it in Warzone. Keep the tactical upgrades or whatever you want to call them, field upgrades. But for multiplayer, bring it back in. Give us Dead Silence so we can actually run and gun and be aggressive and allow players to have that ability. I don't always use Dead Silence. You know, I like to use other perks sometimes, and I don't mind having my footsteps to be louder. But it should be an option. It shouldn't be forced. It should be an option. And on top of that, they didn't even bother resolving the footstep noise when it comes to this game. Now, I have heard it's a tad bit better, but Exclusive A's came out and said that pretty much he can go on massive long kill streaks by strictly just holding down one location and sound horning. You know, honestly, this is a typical Infinity Ward move now. Not back in the day, but once Ghost came out, Ghost was a massive sound horning game. That's basically what the whole game was based around. And ever since then, I mean, Infinite Warfare wasn't because it was a jetpack COD, but they've been keeping that narrative going on. Modern Warfare 2019, Modern Warfare 2 now, the footstep noise is ridiculous, and guess what? That was a main problem that the whole community complained about the whole year, basically. Even after being nerfed down multiple different times, it was still a problem, and they still haven't fixed it. The minimap. My god, who hasn't complained about the minimap within Modern Warfare 2019? Now, I will be honest, do I need it? Not necessarily. You know, I play tons of games like Rainbow Six Siege, CSGO, Valorant, Battlefield. You know, I have all different types of experiences, and a lot of these games don't have minimaps. I'm used to that playstyle. But in Call of Duty, the minimap working as it should with red dots on the minimap allow you as the player to play more aggressively. Again, it adds to the playstyle. If I want to be stealthy and not have people know where I'm at, I put a suppressor on my gun. You know, if I don't mind going completely all out, I won't have a suppressor on my gun. And I will know that. I'll have the knowledge of that. I'll know when people are going to, you know, start swarming my position, or when people know exactly where I'm at when I shoot my gun. It's all part of your playstyle that you have. And removing the red dots off the minimap encourages slow gameplay. No red dots plus stupidly loud footsteps, plus no permanent dead silence equals a camp fest. Now again, like I said, the map designs have been resolved. The only thing is the map designs, so that might improve the speed of the game, but from what I see from multiple different content creators, you know, dead silence not being there, loud footsteps, no red dots on the minimap, all these things are still encouraging slower paced gameplay within the title, when in all reality, this game could be extremely fast, just like how Modern Warfare 2019 could have been extremely fast. But they refused to fix the obvious. Now, of course, they did the same exact thing in Vanguard, where there's a perk that you can see the red dots on the main map, which I was okay with at first because I thought that was just one step in the right direction, and then finally with the next game they're going to solve it. But if this is a permanent idea to make it a stupid perk to give me a normal minimap that I've had my whole life in the Call of Duty franchise, then no, then I'm going to have to start complaining about it. You know, I'm not accepting that anymore. This is ridiculous. A minimap has been a staple of COD for ages now. The fact that I have to give up a perk class in order to use it is ridiculous, and you best believe it's going to be a meta perk. I used it only in Vanguard the whole life cycle because it's crucial to have red dots on the minimap. It helps with spawn trapping, it helps with rotating, and if you go up with someone who doesn't have that perk on, they are at a massive disadvantage. Or if you don't have the perk on and they do, then you're at a massive disadvantage. It's ridiculous. Just put the minimap back. And what hurts even more is that the Ghost of Hope said that it was in the game 7 months prior, like it was already in. They chose to take it out. They went ahead, played their game, reviewed their game, and they said, you know what sucks right now? The minimap. Let's take it back out again. They chose to do that when it was already in Modern Warfare 2. You know, these type of design decisions are what just hold me back from wanting to give you the praise that honestly Infinity Ward deserves with their overall, game when it comes to actual attention to detail, graphic quality, gunplay, smoothness. The engine is always clean. Like, they do so many good things, but then they do bullcrap like that, and it makes me think, what's wrong with them? And then, like I said, not only do they say they're going to listen to all of our feedback with Modern Warfare 2019, then choose to ignore every crucial bit of feedback we ever gave them. Not only did they do that, but they added on top of all the bullcrap that they made in the past. You can no longer reload cancel in this game. I don't know if it's a bug, a glitch, or something that will be resolved later on, but I think it's just a feature to make the game more realistic, less arcadey like Call of Duty is supposed to be, and more like a realistic tech shooter like Insurgency Sandstorm, where when you remove your magazine, you have to put a fresh one in, which in my opinion, when it comes to Call of Duty, absolutely kills the skill gap. That's part of the skill gap. That's what made it so fun back in the day. You had different maneuvers like drop shotting, you could jump shot, B-hop, or you can reload cancel to be able to get back to your weapon quicker in a hot situation. These skill gaps help separate a bad player from a good player. All this is going to do is, get bad players easier kills. They're going to catch someone who's a more skilled player off guard, and they're screwed, They can't get out of the reload. And Infinity Ward also went ahead and added into this game. It blows. I'm almost speechless. You can hear me. I can't even get the words out of my mouth with just how flustered my brain is right now with what I'm about to say. They added back in Last Stand. This perk or, death streak, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a death streak in this game, not necessarily a perk that you get every single time you die. But I think you had to die either a certain amount of times or, it just loads up or something like that, like a field. I don't know how it works, but it's something that you get over time. But this is something that the whole community has hated since the beginning. I don't know one person that has ever said that Last Stand or Final Stand is good and welcome in Call of Duty. This is absurd, and they add it back into this game. And not only did they add in Last Stand, but you can revive yourself. You can The whole purpose of Last Stand is that it's your last stand. It's your last stand. You don't get a second life after this. You go down into your pistol form, and it's your last shot at being able to kill the person. If you kill them, that's great. You die. If you don't, then who cares? It's your last stand. Why can you revive yourself out of this? It's now a pick-me-up perk. Everybody's going to run this. If you're behind a head glitch or if you're in a powerful power position, you can just revive yourself. You're not going to be, hopping around and, if you get gunned down in the open, they can instantly drill you out. No, this is going to be so much more beneficial for the slower player, the campier player. Not even the person who is strategically trying to hold power positions. No, just a person who wants to sit in the corner all day long. This is going to benefit them, and it's ridiculous. Nobody asked for it. It blows my mind. Infinity Ward, please fix these issues. You are so close. It's ridiculous how close you are at making an almost, classic old school Call of Duty title. You're so close. I mean, seriously. But you keep adding in stuff that makes no sense, and you refuse to fix stuff from the past. If you can't do these things, then we're going to run into the same situation. Again, I really think it just comes down to Warzone. All these implementations, everything that's in this is based off of Warzone, right? I have nothing else to say, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done here. Like I said, I'm curious to see how this game is going to play on PC. I want to play it with my own hands. I really do. And I am impressed to a certain degree, but seriously, it blows my mind that they literally say they're going to fix everything, and they don't fix anything. How? I just don't understand. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bums that hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so: Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See y'all next one. Peace out.